Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Shirtless Plantain Show. The Arsenal edition, Coach's Corner, instant reaction from the Emirates. Arsenal nil, Sporting Shitburn nil. Two things before we kick this off. The ref is a joke, absolute loser. And Sporting are a pathetic institution. But I hate Portuguese football clubs. It is what it is. Sorry to any Portuguese fans here, but that's just the way I feel. But let's get into it. Atmosphere today here was what Saturday felt like it should have been, but I'm glad the fans turned up again. I think it was better. Saturday was great. I think I mentioned that, but in my last reaction. But today was good. Was really good. Even when things weren't going our way, we kept on going. But yeah, the fans did their job today. The lineup. Let's go back to front. That front three again started. And it is what it is. And then Ezra's back in the team, and Ezra's class just oozes through. He looks like he's. If I'm looking at that 11 right now, outside of Rice and our centre backs, he's the only one I'm looking at and thinking he's standing with his shoulders, shoulders and chest puffed out. He looks. And they're singing 0-0 to the Arsenal. He's the only one that looks like, I belong here. And then you watch his interview yesterday, thinking, he feels he's already visualising Arsenal winning, which is the first thing you have to do. Arsenal said all the time, if you don't believe, you have no chance. He really believes that, and it's shown in his body language. It's shown in the way that he's playing. But then Rice and Zubimendi, the two centre backs, Raya and Hincapié is back, and Mosquera's back in the team. Hincapié, I love you, bro. Hincapié is a man. Like Hincapié is a man, and I think that's one of the key differences here that we see with our other left back options is that he looks like he's there to first and foremost make sure we don't concede, and everything else is secondary. Which is there's pros and cons to that, but in a game like today, you need to be switched on, and he's locked in. He's making sure that there's nothing's happening down his side basically, and I'm really pleased that he's back in the team. Still worried about Sunday because City have so many good options, especially down his side, but let's see how it goes. But yeah, start the game off, we looked energetic, we looked sprightly, and then Zubimendi gets his first touch of the ball and then he gives it away. Now, I'm not mad at that. I'm not even mad at him, to be honest. I think he's just going through a tough time. But what I am pleased about this entire game, he did what he did best, essentially, outside of obviously his other attributes, and that was winning the ball, plugging holes, do you know what I mean, picking up loose balls. But technically, I think he's suffering right now. That I will say. But his other off-ball duties in midfield, he's still getting about the place. On Saturday, he's still getting about the place. Do you know what I mean? He's still getting about the place, and he's still doing what needs to be done, with his defensive responsibility. So I'm pleased for him. I'm pleased today was quite mature from him today. But yeah, Declan Rice is. I can copy and paste him every week. Honestly, he is just. I'm ahead of my mate basically, and literally, like I was telling him that when you're looking for players that are actually good at football and good footballers, with him it's so obvious. It screams out at you. Like he just does things that are required all the time. Even just being an option, being the correct option to pass the ball, and then getting the ball and making the correct decision with the ball as well. He might not be as expansive as others around the world, but I wouldn't trade him for anybody else. I really wouldn't, man. But yeah, I suppose we'll get into the game, and the balance of it. Straight up and down, as I said before, Sporting are pathetic institute, and they came to me. They didn't really look like they were ever trying to really score. It looked like they were trying to shithouse their way to another extra time and penalty sort of win. Which would have sent me over the edge, because the last time I came to watch Sporting here, I was here with this same mate. I'm pretty sure I was wearing the same tracksuit as well, and obviously Ramsdale got lobbed. I made it onto TV because I was standing right behind Ramsdale behind the goal. That was the most, it was annoying. But I'm glad. I'm really glad that we made it through. But yeah, Arsenal. Look, after that sprightly start and we're moving it around kind of thing, it's very obvious teams have worked us out, because Sporting, while they weren't pressing particularly in a proper 4-2-4, although I couldn't really tell from where I was sitting, I was literally right behind Arteta. they were plugging those holes through midfield, but obviously not as effectively. I want to say maybe not as effective because Eza was around, and Eza was finding those gaps. And if it wasn't Eza was dropping in, somebody was taking his place, and we'll get him through. But then they'll get back in really quickly because one of our biggest issues again, the ball's moving too slowly. Our strength is essentially getting the ball out wide as quickly as possible and making stuff happen. And the ball's still moving too slow for my liking. It is. I'm seeing the intention today a bit, but the simple fact is the ball's just moving way too slow. And we're not making decisions early enough. We're not making early crosses. We're not playing first time passes. It is quite ponderous. But with that being said, we kept them at arm's length. And I just want to say, generally speaking, today maybe didn't feel like a quarter-final of a Champions League. The first leg didn't feel like a quarter-final of the Champions League as well. You look at the scores around Europe, you look at those games, and you're thinking, oh, okay, yeah, now the big boys are here, kind of thing. And I want to give credit to Arsenal for making it such a procession, basically, because that's kind of what you want. Like these high stakes games, you don't want it to be full of tension. You don't want to be on edge kind of thing. If your players do the job, you get a goal or two kind of thing, and you can defend it kind of thing. I'm not being funny. It's a cup competition at the end of the day, and you're there to progress. You know, like I'm very, very pleased. I'm very, very happy that we're making it. Fans are spoiled, basically. I'm glad to see fans are like, oh, it should be that, but it's like, yeah, we made 3 quarterfinals in a row for the first time since 2011 or 10, I want to say, where we played consecutively. I think it was Villarreal. Was it Villarreal? Maybe no, it wasn't Villarreal. I think it was Liverpool, then Barca. I think maybe Barca again. I really can't remember, but I just know we played Liverpool and Barca in that period. Or maybe it was Villarreal actually. I think it was Villarreal. But yeah, like it's something that this generation of fans should be getting used to, and they should be demanding more. But you shouldn't take it for granted because we was out of this competition for 6 years or 7 years. But it's really, really nice to see that we're just here, and you know the amount of tickets that were available, you know, with like 4 hours before kickoff kind of thing, kind of tells you where we're at. Basically, like the good times are back, despite the last couple of weeks. Arsenal are at Europe's top table, competing. You know, we're essentially one of the best 4 teams in Europe. You know, for the second year running, and you know, we shouldn't really be fearing anyone. Now, I do want to say, look at the other teams, look at the other games. There's never been a clearer gap in attacking quality between Arsenal and the rest of the teams, and I do include Atleti in that because they have Griezmann and they have Julian Alvarez, fantastic footballers. I'm not quite sure we have in the striking areas players on that level. So, and then you look at PSG, you look at Bayern Munich, and this is what it is. So, yeah, but hopefully we'll get some players back. I saw Saka, I saw Marino, I saw Timber all in street clothes today, and that was pleasing to see. And yeah, obviously again I was watching Arteta, and Arteta again was, as he does, just waving everybody forwards, especially in that first half. Man, he was really trying to really trying to will us to get a goal, but Sporting obviously weren't willing to risk anything. We didn't have to risk anything, so throwing players forward wasn't really, you know, the primary option, despite us trying to dominate the game. But I will say, when Sporting did cause us problems, it's because they were throwing guys forward, as in, no, they were making forward runs, shall I say. And that's one of my biggest issues with Arsenal right now, the fact that we're not throwing enough men, we're not making enough forward runs. When the ball does get them, when the ball, you know the pattern, the ball goes up to one of our wide men, and then they're facing the player up, but their body's half facing back towards the halfway line. And it's like, if someone's going to commit and just make a forward run, that takes somebody out. Somebody has to go there. If they don't, you can play that pass. But the forward runs are nowhere near enough for my liking. And maybe, again, might be a fatigue thing, but I don't think it is. I really don't think it is. I think psychologically the players, I wouldn't say are scared, but there's a little bit of uncertainty there. But if you roll back the tapes earlier this season, bro, like early passes, forward runs, and things are happening. Things are literally happening, but maybe we have to wait for our better players to get back. I don't know, but yeah. Look, we're in the semi-finals of the Champions League for the second year running against Atleti, a team that we've already beat this season, but we already know what's going to happen. It's going to be so tough, so tough. And all I hope for is that we don't go behind at any point in this tie. I really hope not. But again, this Atleti are not the same Atleti of 2015, 2016. They're not a defensive juggernaut. They will come and attack you, which is good. And I hope we can really give them another good beating. But I'm not at this particular time. I'm not really confident in Arsenal's attack. Yeah, that's it. But with that being said, I think I'm pleased. Believe it or not, I think I'm really pleased the way this new week has started, and on to Sunday. It's still Sunday when you get there. I've been Coach. Take it easy, guys. Peace.